Welcome to the last session of section 2. We did a lot of work in this section. It was not an easy section, but we still have to finish with this last part. And the last part is about the power of the project manager. We've been talking about different types of organizational structures. But what does it mean when we consider the project manager? Will we always call the project manager a project manager or not? Well, we will see that there are in fact three different names the PMI reserves for people working in projects. The first is the project expediter, the second is the project coordinator, and the last but not least is the project manager. We will have a look at the organizational structures and the power of the project manager, and then we will have a short description about these three functions that we can find in our projects. Here you see the power grid of the project manager. At the right, we see a functional organization. At the left, we see a projectized organization. In the middle section, we have what we call the matrix organization, where we have three levels of power. A weak matrix organization. In the weak matrix organization, the functional manager overpowers the project manager. The balanced matrix, where the power is shared between the project manager and the functional manager, and in the strong matrix, the project manager is in fact in charge and the functional manager has a subordinate function. We can see, based on these definitions, that when we start from the left to the right, that the project organization has the highest power for the project manager, while on the right, the functional organization has the lowest level of power. Only for the projectized organization and the strong matrix, we will use the name of project manager. On the functional part, we will not call the person is involved in projects the project manager, but we will call that person the project expediter. For the weak and the balanced, and perhaps a little bit for the strong matrix, depending on your organization, we will also not talk about a project manager, but we will refer to a project coordinator. So, to recapitulate, functional organizations, low power of the project manager, we call them a project expediter. Balanced and weak matrix, more power for the project manager, but still more influenced by the functional manager. We talk about the project coordinator, and from a strong matrix up to a projectized organization, we have high power. With we, I mean we project managers, and of course, we call the person in charge of a project the project manager. The project expediter is like a staff assistant or communications coordinator. There is no real power to make decisions, and we find these people in functional and weak matrix organizations. One of the tasks of the project expediter is to communicate with different people who are involved in the project and to coordinate actions. Timing activities are part of the job description, and in larger projects, a project expediter can be an assistant of the project manager, and in that case, the project expediter will be in charge of communications and logistics. Now let's have a look at the project coordinator. Project coordinators have more power than project expediters. They have a partial management responsibility, but they are still under the supervision of the other line managers. There are some decision-making authorizations, but with limited authority. They're typically in a weak and a balanced matrix. In larger projects, the project manager may have one or more project coordinators to assist. And finally, the project manager, the strongest position that you can have when you're managing projects. The project manager has full authority to make decisions, but only related to the project. We find them in strong matrix and projectized organizations. The project manager leads and manages the project, works with other managers, but has authority over resources and budget. The project manager also directly communicates with the project client and the sponsor, also with other stakeholders, of course. The project manager may have project expediters and coordinators to assist. So, you did a great job. We're finishing the last session of the second section. It was a long section. We learned a lot of things. The next sessions will be a little bit easier, but I assure you there will be some other sessions that will be at least or even more challenging than this one. Great job. See you next session, but also next section. Thank you.